that stands up to the oil companies and the oil-producing countries and says, you don't need our tax dollars any longer to make outrageous profits. Let's begin to take the tax subsidies away from the oil companies. Let's impose a windfall profits tax on these outrageous profits and put it to work on clean, renewable energy. Now, I know we can't do any of this until the two oil men leave the White House, but as soon as they do, we're going to be ready for a new energy future with the millions and millions of jobs that we could create. I think we can create 5 million jobs in the next 10 years if we do this right. And there's no reason we can't. You know, earlier today, I said to the folks at the brat shop, I said, look, Germany's creating jobs with solar power, hundreds of thousands of them. We have a lot of people in Wisconsin from German descent. There are as many sunny days in Wisconsin as there are in Germany. Let's get busy and create these jobs right here in Milwaukee and in Oshkosh and in Green Bay and Eau Claire and Madison. Let's get real about health care. Now, we have a choice. We have 47 million people uninsured, and we can continue to think that's a terrible problem and do nothing about it. Or we can roll up our sleeves and come up with a uniquely American solution. That is what I have proposed. You see, I think it is morally wrong that you have 547,000 people in Wisconsin who don't have health insurance. I think it is a national disgrace. Are we saying to ourselves, we just can't figure this out? We can't take on the health insurance companies. We can't take on the Republicans to achieve universal health care. I don't accept that for a minute. Universal health care has been a fundamental Democratic Party. It's been part of the progressive tradition here in Wisconsin for as long as anyone can remember. We cannot in any way cede universal health care. It should be a defining issue in this general election. I believe we can win on universal health care. Let's get real about education. You know, we can't continue to have unfunded mandates coming from Washington. So let's figure out what we're going to do. I will do everything possible to fully fund special education, something that has been promised but never fulfilled for more than 30 years. And I will end the unfunded mandate known as No Child Left Behind. It is not working for our kids and our teachers. And I believe we can make college affordable again if we take on the student loan industry and get them out of the way, get back to direct lending from the federal government the way it used to work. Let's get real about restoring America's role in the world. You know as well as I do that our relationships have been destroyed. We have to rebuild our alliances. We have to be willing to find common ground with the rest of the world again. And this is not about getting everybody to like us. That's not what it's about. This is about having allies to deal with the big problems we face. Global terrorism, global warming, global epidemics. We can't tackle those on our own. And you know, you can't be a leader if no one is following. We've got to get into the leadership business again in the world. We also have to do everything we can to make it clear that restoring our leadership and our moral authority in the world starts with ending the war in Iraq and bringing our troops home responsibly and quickly. I have said that I will start bringing them home within 60 days. From my position on the Senate Armed Services Committee, I've been working to make sure that we are prepared to do that. You know, this administration has not planned for withdrawing our troops because they don't want to do it. They're going to leave it completely to us. So we have to be prepared to think this through, to make sure that we protect our young men and women as they depart. And then we have to ask ourselves, what do we do with the 100,000 plus civilians who are there? See, I think about this because I imagine what the responsibility will be like sitting alone in the Oval Office. You know, the advisors have given you their advice, but ultimately it's up to you to decide. And what do we do about the Iraqis who helped us? The translators who made the difference between life and death for our soldiers and our Marines. We are an honorable country, and we have to withdraw in a way that keeps faith with the sacrifice of those who have been lost, with those who have been injured. And we must make it clear there is no military solution. Bring our people home and tell the Iraqis they have to take responsibility for their own future. And as we bring them home, we have to take care of them. You know, today in Kenosha again, a young man reached out his hand. He had a T-shirt on which said U.S. Marine Corps. He said, take care of my buddies. A lot of them are still over there. He said, and then will you please help take care of me? He said, I can't get an appointment for months to get my problems taken care of at the VA. You know, I think when young men and women sign up to serve America, we sign up to serve them. They deserve the health care, the compensation, the services they have earned. Obviously, to do all of this, we have to take on the power structure in Washington. You know, I'm always a little amused when someone says, we're going to go after the special interests. There isn't anything more important than reining them in. But we've got to do it in a way that brings the American people along with us. It's not enough just to impose rules on them, which Senator Feingold has been such a leader on. We've got to figure out how we prevent them from taking advantage of the American people with higher prescription drug costs, with higher energy costs, with lost jobs that go overseas. This is a job for all of us, not just for our next president. We have to have a coalition that takes on all of these interests. I have an aggressive agenda that will save the American people at least $55 billion a year. If we impose that windfall profits tax, if we get aggressive in going after the oil companies who always seem to be raising the price no matter what else is going on, if we rein in health insurance, rein in drug costs, we can begin to end these subsidies that have unfortunately shifted so much wealth away from the middle class. That's the kind of America that we have to build again. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable. It's going to take strength and experience, something that goes along with the job. Change is going to happen. The question is, are we going to get the right kind of change? Because what I'm interested in is not just change for the sake of change, but progress. The kind of progress that will make a difference in the lives of the people of this country. And we know pretty well what the Republicans will do because their likely nominee will be Senator McCain. He's a man whom I consider a friend and whom I deeply respect for his lifetime of service to our country. He's a good man with the wrong ideas. And I believe we need a nominee who can go toe-to-toe with John McCain to make the differences absolutely clear to the American people. He wants to keep troops in Iraq for 50 to 100 years. I'll start bringing them home within 60 days. He's admitted he doesn't understand the economy.